G'day guys, back again, episode 8 of our drill gauge fabrication. Now I did have a little bit of a problem. It's been a month or so since my last video, and this is what happened to my drill gauge. You can see the A's that got stamped in the top of it. Somebody was practicing their A's, so when I see you next, Andrew, I'll be into you. But I'll put a couple of minutes sanding back into it and flatten those out. Now you can see the problem here with this A, it really raises up the area around it. You can see where it's distorted from you can see the shadow there distorting it. So it's stamped in, but that material that gets pushed in has to go somewhere, and it tries to push itself out from the sides. So that's sanded flat again. There's no high spots there. It's all just those low spots. So that's back again. Now, I did 800 and 1200. Because I think people had had enough of watching me sand. So we're up to our 1200 grit there. It's not a fantastic finish. There's still a few blemishes and marks in it, definitely some lines, but it's pretty good. All right, so what to do next? We don't want that anymore. Next on our job. Now the reason we don't just put our marks on this, it's very hard to see. It's so shiny that it's hard to see a scratch mark. My example would be over here. If I do a scratch on that, it's very hard to see. But if I do a scratch on that red, you can see it. If I do a scratch on that black, you can see it quite easily. So our marking out medium is what we're going to coat it with next. We'll coat it with a marking out medium, and then we'll start measuring and marking out our holes and our cut lines and our angles and whatever else we have to mark out. Now when you mark these out, if you texture over the top of wet texture, it won't scratch the lower texture, but if you try and texture over dry texture, it doesn't like it very much. So just be aware, you want to try and be going over the top of fresh texture each time. You want to go back here and mark it now, although that's still pretty wet, still marking all right. Yeah. I apologise. If I was a fantastic video editor or doing media or something like that, I would be able to just snip this for you and edit it and take all this texture drawing out, but I'm not. So I'll leave you to do the editing, and you can just put me in double time or triple time or whatever you feel like on YouTube. Or maybe you just like the sound of my voice. Maybe you can just watch me trying to concentrate and do straight lines. You might see along the bottom edge there I've missed, this is my bottom datum edge, along here I've missed a couple of spots here. Now I am going to be putting marks here later on, so I do want that filled in quite well. So I'm just going to go over that again here quickly, and I hope it doesn't wreck the previous texture. Nope, that's nice. So along that bottom edge we'll be putting some little arrow pointer marks. And yeah, so it just wants to be filled in properly so I can see those marks nice and clear, especially along that bottom edge. Along the top edge here doesn't really matter too much because that is going to get chopped out later on. There's no holes that go up in that area. That's that area there. So because it's getting cut out later on, it's not super critical. Maybe I've just got some obsessive compulsive disorders, and I just need stuff to be finished properly and colouring in to be done to perfection. Obviously it's not perfection, but All right. There's our black plate with our A's stamped in it. Now this one here is going to be inside, so I would normally make you lose a point for that. This one here is, I think, going to be cut through, so we'll lose half of that A. And this one here will get cut out, so you'll only ever see that one and half of this one, I think. But let's start marking it out. Along our bottom datum edge here, we have all these measurements. Starting with our 10mm measurement for our first hole. Now we're measuring off this datum edge. And we're measuring 10mm, 28mm, 45mm. This isn't a scale, so you can't just put your job on top of it and hope that everything lines up, because it doesn't. Not to scale. All right, let's put some measurements on. I'm going to put this one against the datum edge, because otherwise if you just use this one, then your ruler won't sort of exactly be at the end. But if I put my other ruler against the datum edge and then push this ruler against that, a nice hard stop, I can mark my little arrows here. First one was 10, second one was 28. Now, these are tiny, these arrows, but this is all you guys want. Let's see if we can see them here. Yeah, that one there. Nice little arrow. And where's my other one? I'll just scratch it a little bit then. But there's our other arrow, really small. Now, if I stuff up, and let's do the 28 one, and accidentally put another little mark next to it, there's my stuff up. I have more than 2 scratch marks there. Don't worry about trying to fix it and just put more scratch marks on it. You're better off just to texture that in again and just mark your 28 again. So let's mark all those across the bottom edge. First one was 10. Second one's 28. Tiny little arrow, only 2 marks. Next one's 45. 62. 78, 93, 106, and 115, but there's no hole at 115, it's just the end of our job. So now that we have all those marked, we can square across from our datum edge across. Our square here, we've got our block and our blade. We're just going to hold our block against the datum edge. Take that up to my little arrow. Put your scriber into the corner. Don't have it on this angle because it won't get right into the corner where your square is. And you're not pressing hard. You're only pressing relatively lightly. Doesn't take much to scratch through that marking out medium, so not a hard line. If you do it hard, you're just going to make more sanding for yourself once all the holes are drilled. Right, now we haven't got much block left on our drill gauge datum edge here, and the chances of having a little bit of dirt under there are pretty high, and that dirt could then cause this not to be at 90 degrees. So rather than continue with this really small amount of block on there, I'm just going to spin the block around, have it facing the other way on the datum edge, and just continue with the lines there. Worry free that I have any dirt under the block. Last one and one more. Done. Alright, should be able to see all our lines there. let's continue with our next little line. So our next lot is going to be on our other datum edge. Our other datum edge is measured from here. This time, before we measured from this way, this time we're going to measure up. Our lines are going to be 15 and 30. So this one. Now we also have a single one over here. It's at 45 millimeters. So from our datum edge up, 15, 30, 45. Let's mark those now. Now the problem with these ones, I'll explain in a second, will be that, let's mark one. There's our little arrow there at 15 millimeters up, like our plans say here, but we have the same problem as I was talking about before. If we use our, where's my arrow gone? If we use our block here against this datum edge, we only have a really small area of block on there. The chances of there being a little bit of dirt to make our 90 degrees out is pretty high. So rather than doing that, we're going to mark this one in a different way. We measured 15 on one side, just measure 15 up on the other side. Now that we have our arrows on the left and the right, we can just rule through those. So with our ruler, lining it up with the arrow points there, and there's our mark across. Now we have two others that I was talking about. We have the 30 and we have the 45. 30, 45, back up the other end, 30, 45, same again, lining the arrows up, same again, lining the arrows up. All right, now all these intersections here, most of them, are pretty crucial because they're going to have a hole put through them. So where this 15 millimeter line, grab a pencil, actually, so we can visualise that a bit more, where we have our 15 millimeter line, which goes all the way through all of those, where these ones come up and they intersect with this, we have a hole. So on all of these we need to prick punch. Obviously our 45mm line, we only have one hole on that one, so just make sure you don't stamp all the way across, only the one. All right, let's go. Now when you're stamping these, make sure you find a nice sharp prick punch. I can probably find a better one than that. Let's get another one. That one's not too bad. So just the tip of that one feels a bit pointier than that one. So this one might have been dropped or hasn't been sharpened fantastically. Either way, that one's a little bit pointier on the end. Let's use that one. Now, put a point right on that intersection and just a gentle tap. With that gentle tap, I can now check and go, yeah, that one looks pretty good. I don't need to change it. I'm happy with it. Hit it once more. Just once more. This time, don't choke the hammer. So choking it up here, don't get as much power. You hold it in the red area and you're not choking it, and you're going to get a lot more power out of it. If you don't have enough power, then when you mark this, it may not go deep enough, and then when you go to drill it, your drill bit won't find exactly where it needs to go. So it needs to be a big enough impression that the drill bit can find that little impression. All right. I'm happy with that one. Good. Just gentle to start with, and then good. Take your time with this, guys, because if you do stuff up, ooh, missed a line. If you do stuff up, this isn't a failable offence, but it will incur marks being lost. So take your time, get it right. You've spent so much time sanding. Measure twice, cut once is the saying. Yep, I like it. Good. Yep. Coming out well. Beautiful. I'm getting slack now. I'm just doing one good hit. What I suggest for you guys, take your time and do two. Even if I stuff up and put something in a millimetre out, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to take marks off myself when I mark it. I'm just going to tell you it's 100%. Obviously it's not, because I've got A's stamped into the middle of it now, but you can see the gist of that. Now this is a prick punch, because the angle here is less than 90 degrees. A centre punch is sharpened to 90 degrees. So if we put our square on there, the end of our centre punch is 90 degrees. Centre punch is always 90 degrees, prick punch is always less than 90 degrees. So a more accurate mark with these, but a bigger mark with a centre punch. Alright, we're done except for one more hole, which I'm going to mark out now. Now all those easy holes were done. But we also have a hole that needs to go here. And it says drill a diameter 3 millimeters. Diameter symbol is that little thing there that has, looks like a 0 with a line through it, means diameter. So it needs to be another 3 mil hole here. Now we need to work out where this goes. A couple of hints is we need this 121, we need this 20 mil measurement, and we need this 60 mil measurement. So I haven't got that or that. I'll mark these two, and then I'll grab the protractor and show you how to set the 121. All right, 2 seconds, guys. Sixty. Roll through my 2 arrows. Then how far along that 60? I need a 20 mil measurement. On that 60 mil line, I'm going to put a mark at 20. Alright, there we go. So that little mark there, where we are, we want to come down at 121 degrees. Grab the tracker. So with these protractors, we can set them at 121 in 2 different spots. But if I set it kind of like that, you know it's in the right way. Now down here is a little black mark, and where that black mark lines up with on our 121 is the correct spot. So don't use this blade here, it's that little mark. Just like on our verniers, use the 0. Think of that as our 0. So our 0 is at 121 degrees. Now, what am I doing wrong here? I'm measuring off a side that isn't our datum edge. always measure. It doesn't matter if it's degrees or measurements, always measure off your datum edge. We don't know, this one could be all crooked. We don't know what this is like, it hasn't been filed square, so don't use that. Use our datum edge side, we know that's right, and then we're just sliding along here until I can see my little arrow mark there, my 20 millimeters on my 60 line. Slide back across. That looks good there. Don't worry about going all the way to the bottom because you only need to go not even halfway through the drill gauge. So let's go. There you go, there's my line there. How do I know where the hole is on that line? Well, I still need one more line. I need this 40 mil measurement here. So let's put this line in, and wherever this one, which I just put in, intersects with this one, is going to be our little mark. So that was 40 millimeters, so let's put it into pencil or a scriber. 40. The smaller you can make these arrows, the more accurate your measurement is going to be. Obviously accuracy matters too, but if you don't have a giant arrow, you'll tend to be a bit more precise where your arrow goes. Nice small arrows. So let's mark from here because we know that's about to intersect that one there. I'll go past just a little bit and all the way through. There we go, there's our last one. Don't use a centre punch, prick punch. One, and yep, I'm happy with where that is. Two, fantastic. The reason I'm not using the anvil, generally I'll tell you to use the anvil, because this bench here, if I bang over in the middle of it, you can probably hear that ring. But over here, if I do the same thing, the ring isn't as great because I have a leg directly underneath here. So that's why I'm using this as my hammering corner. There's not much vibration here. On the anvil, even less. Generally, I'll tell you to use the anvil. Don't use the bench here because people will be getting their work assessed, or laptops will be here, or people will be trying to scribe stuff. So anvil for any stamping or prick punching. Right, let's continue. What do we got? All our holes are marked, and we've got our cut line now to cut it out later. What should we do now? Should we cut or should we drill? Well, the answer is pretty easy, because if you cut this, then you're going to have an irregular shape, and the irregular shape's very hard to hold in a vise. But when you've got something nice and square, that's great. Two parallel edges, that are relatively parallel, that'll clamp up really nicely in the vise. So let's go clamp this up, and we can probably start putting some drills through. Now, before I go too far, I just want to talk about some different drills. On our plans here, we've got a 2.5 here, and then we've got a 3, then a 3.5, 4, 4.55, 5.6. Now, the way we're going to drill this is the 2.5 we can probably put through the very first one. That's our initial hole. Be careful with the 2.5, they're pretty fragile as far as drill bits go. So generally, you'll put a 3 mil through everything, except for this one. Now, because you're putting it through everything, it's called your pilot drill. So 3 mil, 3 mil, 3 mil, 3 mil, 3 mil, 3 mil, 3, all the way. Do all of them as 3s. The reason you're doing that is because if you grab a 12 straight away and put a 12 in without pilot drilling it, that 12 will just wobble all over the place and won't go exactly where you want it to, and it won't be in line. So our pilot drill sets the initial hole, and all the other drills after that follow it. Now, even by going straight from a 3 to a 12, it'll still wander a bit. So what you want to do is every millimetre you increase, drill the remaining ones with that size. So when we go 3, we're doing everything. 3.5, we're just doing that one. When we get to 4 though, because we've increased by a millimetre, then do 4 in all the rest of them. 4.5 just by itself. Then when we get to 5 in all the rest of them. 5.5 just by itself, but 6 in all the rest of them. Then 7 in all the rest of them. 8 in all the rest of them. 9 in all the rest of them. 10. By doing that, you've got a much larger hole. The drill bit doesn't wander as much, so as long as it's nice and sharp, and it'll give you a nice, accurate hole. How much time?
25.
I think we'll do that, guys. That'll do. We'll pause that, and next one we'll start drilling. See you soon.